Good morning, everyone. We'll go ahead and get this show on the road. We'd like to welcome everyone to the June 4th, 2018 Board of Supervisors meeting. We always start off with the invocation. I'll ask Mr. Slay if he'd be kind enough to share something with us this morning.
We are so grateful for the opportunity and the privilege that it is to come before you first and foremost, Lord. To thank you for all the blessings that you give us, and to be reminded, Lord, that it is through your power and because of your grace toward us that these men are able to serve, and that our citizens are able to participate in their government. We know that. Father, we don't ever want to take that for granted. Thank you, God, for the protections that we enjoy in this community. We know, Lord, that those are not to be taken lightly. I thank you for the sacrifices that are made so that we might be protected and preserved. I pray, Father, that you'll keep them protected and bring them home safely to their families in Christ's name.
Amen. We'll move on into public comments this morning. We have the distinct pleasure of recognizing Miss Rachel Marie Wilson, who is the recipient of the Mississippi Association of Supervisors County Employee Scholarship. Ms. Wilson, would you come up front, please, ma'am? Okay. We want to present you this acknowledgement by the Mississippi Association of Supervisors. That says the 2018 recipient of the MAS County Employee Scholarship awarded by the Mississippi Association of Supervisors and the Rankin County Board of Supervisors awarded this the 7th day in May 2018. A little financial consideration in there as well. We're very proud of you and good luck with you in your college career.
Thank you so much.
Good deal.
Thank you. Hey, let's get a little picture with y'all.
Sure, gentlemen. We'll put you right there in the middle. I'll make Chuck get up, I think.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Stand next to Bishop. Yeah. Good luck.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Where do you go to school?
Mississippi State.
Good. We double that check there. Mississippi State girl.
Thank you.
And not to worry, we will be out of here before noon today. All right. Waiting on Mr. Bishop to get back to his position.
His position.
Do we have any other public comments? Janice?
What position are you playing, Mr. Bishop?
Sure. He's tight end down there.
That's a good question. Old minutes.
Motion approved.
Motion by Mr. Morris, a second by Mr. Bishop. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Consent agenda.
Motion approved.
Motion by Mr. Morris, a second by Mr. Cross. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Mr. Sullivan, we'll let you actually come up since you got quite a few going. I don't know if we need to read all these things, do we?
Unless y'all can't read, and then we may need to do that. But first one, petition change to 2017 real and personal property assessment.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Morris, second by Mr. Cross. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
And item B, request the board the tax sale pin number 78049 and pin number 16331 and mail a new corrected tax statement.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Morris, a second by Mr. Bishop. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
C, D, E, and F can probably be handled in one motion. They should have been coded tax exempt.
Motion
Motion
approved.
approved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Bishop, second by Mr. Morrison. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Thank y'all.
Miss Bridget, not here.
She's
You gonna
not here
take care of her
today.
part?
She's sick. I sure will. The first one is approval of Morpho Trust USA. It is a sole source for the TPE 53 Palm Capture Live Scan System.
What is, well, I won't even ask a question.
Motion approved.
Captive Live. Sounds good.
Law enforcement.
Law enforcement.
Okay, yeah. That
Motion by Mr. Bishop, second by Mr. Cross. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. B,
Approval of the copy or contract with RICO for the Circuit Clerk's Office.
Motion approved.
Second.
motion by Mr. Morris, second by Mr. Bishop. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. C,
Approval of the copper contract with RICO for the Board of Supervisors.
Motion approved.
motion by Mr. Bishop, Morrison, Motion by Mr. Morrison, second by Mr. Gaines. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Mr. Harrison.
I make a motion to approve road work accomplished and scheduled.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Morrison, second by Mr. Cross. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. B.
Request approval of a utility permit for Boardwalk Pipeline Partner to construct a copper cable encased in a 2-inch poly line with service utility along and across Thomasville Road.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by myself, second by Mr. Bishop. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Won't know what that is. They got a pipeline that crosses there, and they're gonna do a conductor for ground underneath the road, is what they're doing.
Hang on, Mike, I got a couple of complaints, of course, last week. Both of them in Barney and Ben. One of them, a girl got hit in a car or had an accident with somebody in a vehicle that was unmarked,
Yes, sir.
and they're trying to track it down. I think they're working with the sheriff's office to try to resolve that. But
Yeah, I'm trying to find out exactly who it was, if there was even a police report done on it, Jay, on it. And, then we got another one with a lady, they dug a hole in her yard
Yeah.
and busted an 8-inch water main.
And I
Wait, she
went out there
dug the
this
hole?
weekend,
No,
and they were
utility
working
company.
out there this weekend, and there was no markings of who they were, you know. So, and this is what's all coming down to is the lady thinks it's C Spire's workers. She's been calling C Spire, and I think it was AT&T.
I think that's why we was going out there today to see who it was, because she's saying it's C-Spire. I think it's AT&T that's out there on it, Jay.
All right.
But I don't know what, I know in our new permits now, some of these are under our old permits that's going on right now. Until we get,
Okay. That's
till we
why
get
they-
cleared up out of our new
Okay.
permits, but,
All right.
so,
Thank you, sir.
yes, sir.
Mr. Parker, he was headed this way, you know.
I only have one item on the agenda, and that has to do with our LSRP 61-4 project, and we're making recommendation for approval of a subcontractor, Traffic Control Products Incorporated.
Make that motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Cross, second by Mr. Morrison. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Parker. Mr. Slade, I think we can consolidate A through G, can we not?
Yes, sir, I'm going to assume that item E is also a June 18, 9 a.m. setting. I think I'm on safe grounds suggesting that as an assumption. So items A through G would be one motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
Let's see here. We'll give it to Mr. Bishop, second by Mr. Gaines. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Item H is to set the hearing for July 2 at 9 a.m. for the Lindy Inc. conditional use permit.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gaines, second by Mr. Bishop. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
The next one is the authority of the board president to execute a seismic permit for Spooner Petroleum for 18-month right of entry on the Puckett Volunteer Fire Department property. It's just seismic testing. They're actually not going to do specific seismic testing on this site. The testing itself will be on adjacent property, but they have to get permission from all of the adjacent property owners in order to conduct the testing.
What's this about?
It's oil and gas stuff. They're doing the all I know to call it is that reverb echo
Right,
stuff.
right.
So
Huh.
it's just testing. They're going
I bet-
through that whole area.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Mr. Morrison. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign.
If I
Ms.
may,
Oster.
if I may,
Oh, I'm
Mr.
sorry.
President,
Go ahead,
before,
Mr.
may I get the board's pleasure on adding one item? This would be to authorize the amendment to a plat that has already been filed previously it's in Steve's district, Highway 43. It came to life originally as a 5-parcel, kind of like a subdivision. All of the parcels, Steve, are accessed off of Highway 43. We worked things out with them where they were larger parcels,
Just
7
there
acres
at Lake
plus.
Road?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's at Lake Road. So what happened was one of the lots got sold before the plat was approved, so they are having to amend the plat to reflect the actual lots that are a part of this development.
all 5 of the lots are burdened with a set of restrictive covenants that has the no further subdividing, any interior roads have to be constructed to county specifications, minimum house size is 2,000 square foot. It's everything that we wanted, they did. So this would just simply be to reflect the receipt of the amended plat and the approval of the amended plat.
Is there a motion to
That's
add it to
to
the
add.
I'll make a motion to add it.
Second.
motion by Mr. Gaines, second by Mr. Cross. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
The development's called Plantation Farms, just for the record. So I need a motion to approve
by
the
Mr. Gaines,
amended plat.
second by Mr. Cross. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Ms. Oster.
The first thing I have this morning is request approval of proposed change orders for the new misdemeanor facility. These are the 2 that Carl Franco presented at our work session meeting last week.
Motion approved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Bishop, second by Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. B, please, ma'am.
Request authority to pay the registration fees in the amount of $250 each for Maureen Payne, Debbie Donald, and Jamie Farrell to attend the Tax Collector Revenue 1 on June 4th through the 8th and 18 in Raymond, and to pay any travel-related expenses.
Motion to approve, Mr. Morrison, second by Mr. Gaines. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Any additional business to be discussed?
I do have one addition. This is a request, EOC requests permission to purchase bottled water as the most cost-effective method in supplying water to the fire personnel and emergency responders.
So moved. Add it to the agenda.
Yes.
Motion, Mr. Cross, added to the agenda, second by Mr. Morrison. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Motion approved by Mr. Cross, second by Mr. Morrison. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Anything else, Ms. Oster?
No, I don't have anything else to add. We do have executive session this morning, but we
But
did
they're
not.
we're a tad bit early, aren't we?
Oh, we are quite a bit early.
Terribly early. All right, hey, Sheriff, let me ask you a question while we've got a little time. The house behind Rogers and Dowd, you still gonna work to put interdiction or whoever in that group, in that house?
Yeah, we just need to call up, like, you want to put a bunch of inmates down there, tear down the fence, put your fence up, clean it up real good. And it's not a lot of bad repairs, but it has to fix a lot of repairs.
Okay, I asked Mike to go down and clean up around the house. Vegetation's about to overtake it, so not that it makes a difference to
I
you.
get my guys getting in there. I already took Barry down there the other day, took them along.
Okay. All right. Do we have anything else besides what we're, personnel for, executive session? Here's an opportunity for us to actually break the record. Well, no, we don't. We still have executive session regardless.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
We had them set, the interviews for 10, 20, and 11. The first person bowed out, said they've taken another job. We have 2, which would be in 10, 20.
Is there a motion to recess to 10:15?
Hang on a minute. Hold your horses.
Uh-oh.
Hell.
It's usually fixing to get bad at this point, you know.
We can outrule them though. We can go ahead and move on.
You don't have to hold the
Motion to
horses, Dick.
recess,
That's right. You don't have to hold
I
them.
was just asking the guy coming at 11, could he come earlier?
Is he close? I mean, is he working?
Like 9:20?
I was
Yeah.
thinking maybe 10.
That's about
Dude,
3
and
minutes.
I'm gonna do this, but be sure and tell John, I'm gonna text him and thank you for restriping the parking lot out front. It looks a whole lot better.
Wait on the clock.
Whole lot better.
Oh,
Don't forget to
yeah.
go vote tomorrow, people.
Oh, we got him. Oh, we got just a minute. I just want to put something out there, just as a thought. I think maybe you thought of it, Steve may have thought of it, had some thoughts similar in their areas. Situations in the way we're set up with, in our zoning, where we've got some large acre.
Divisions,
Yes,
potential
I mean,
divisions.
Yeah. You know, I got some, and you know, it's kind of like things now, some of the areas of large acres are selling, but people wanting the large acres. But then You know, I got a situation, I know y'all have too, where you to build a county road back in there might be a mile long. And, then if they wanna sell like, 50 acres there for someone to build 2 houses on, they still have to build this county road so far back in there. And the way we're set up now, that's what they'd have to do. And I'd just like maybe some discussion of some thoughts. I don't know the whole answer to everything, because I know we're always running into that situation, and it's always comes, once that 50 acres, 100 acres, whatever sold, they build 2 houses for them and their son or whatever, and then down the road they decide, you know what, I'm gonna sell this over here, I'm gonna build this, I'm gonna set so-and-so build a house and build, next thing you know, you got 4 or 5 in there. I don't know what we can do, but it is, if I put myself in their shoes sometimes, I understand, and I feel like it's
Happy
guy
medium
builds 150
somewhere.
acres here, owns 150 acres, he sells 50 to Craig, and Craig wants to build a house for him and his daughter, but he can't unless he builds this $300,000 road to get to that 50 acres.
I've thought about this, because I have it as much as anybody. And, man, it's a fine line. And I don't even know if this would work. But if you had enough acreage in it, that it still remained agriculture. And whatever we determine, I mean, 15 acres, you used to could put chicken houses on 15 acres. But 15 acres or some number that we all agree would still be a farm, and if somebody's buying 15 or 20 acres,
I think you saw it here in that rezoning request when I had on Antioch Shallow Road.
Yep.
They're not so much opposed to the subdivision part of the
they're
separating part
opposed
of
to
it.
the RE.
RE giving the right to somebody to come in and put a 2-acre development in down the road. I think you're right, if you can keep it where it's still ag until the market dictates.
I mean, it's just a 2 or 3 leveled. Then, if it's ag, and not serving more than blank, however many drives, then if Buster and them could come up with some specs for a gravel road that meets what we want, but you still got a deed, say you got to be something to say the county's not ever going to be responsible for blacktopping or hard topping or
Maintaining.
He's talking about doing one to a gravel road maintenance.
I'm talking about because of the way our private roads are, only one house can go on that private road.
I guess it could dictate.
And if you made a loop into 300 acres and everybody in there, say, had 20 acres or more, well, you couldn't have but one home on that private drive, the way we are now.
The only problem, and like I say, it's just
You
discussion.
want to have a gravel road?
I don't. I've got enough of them already. But you can't. I mean, it's just not economical to build a road that costs $100,000 a mile or more to service 4 houses.
But if they want to put in a gravel road, why not just understood it's their road? They have to maintain it.
I would, no, that's kind of what I would lean to, it'd be their road. I wouldn't want us to, I don't think.
But how do we say it's their road
Well, private.
and then have private and more than the way we are now, we don't let one person have that driveway on private.
In theory, but we've got a lot of exceptions.
But that is if y'all can make that work.
Well, you can do like what Craig does now. We put in deed restrictions on it, and only problem is that you run into the fact where an attorney misses it, and they go ahead and subdivide further,
I had one just
and
a couple of weeks ago.
But I'm all for trying to come up with something that would work.
We
We've
just
got
don't
that
need
part-
another Indian mound.
Well, we're working on solving that problem, but you're exactly right. We don't, and we not in that area anyway.
Well, what I'm getting at, and I do understand though, whatever this is, one of the problems we're gonna have is this kept up, maintained well enough for emergency vehicles to get in there. Fire trucks, particularly in case of fire. I got a situation where it was not you know where I'm talking about, Dwayne, and the guys, I mean, he didn't complain, but they couldn't get around a bridge he had there
Yeah.
that wouldn't hold a fire truck, and so they bogged down trying to get around.
Well, I've never understood that part of it, where how is it our responsibility that a private road is built well enough for the volunteer or for emergency services to get into?
It's in our development ordinance and has been for more than 20 years, that even a private drive within a subdivision context has to be built to county standards.
Okay.
For that very purpose. It's because we know that public, private, or otherwise, there's an expectation that the fire truck is coming.
I got one that fire truck can't get down. It's a
Well, I'm sure
private.
there's plenty around.
Oh, I've got one a fire truck can't get down. It goes to my house. Sure do. Have to come in the back way through the pasture.
Guys, we've wrestled with this, and wrestled with this, and wrestled with this, trying to come up with a definition.
That's fair.
Workable definition of a rural subdivision development. You know, the issue for the folks that are out of the Shiloh community that we saw with Freddie Ryall's situation, Steve, that's an example of where it's just simply misunderstood. You
Yep.
know what our smallest lot size in ag is?
1 acre.
1 acre.
Yep.
1 acre.
I agree. I mean, I think
This
that,
guy speak.
I think that, to help, I mean, to free up some of this land that people own, and they've owned it, and this has been their investment, almost retirement, and up until 2002, 3, 4, whatever, they could sell it pretty much how they wanted to, and now they can't afford to sell it.
Well,
And-
the fact you got 300 acres, and if you divide it twice, it's a subdivision.
Yeah, yep.
And
Why
that-
don't we
that don't
put that
sound right.
same dog team that's been tracking that heavy hauling ordinance on this project too? They've done an outstanding job about trying to, there's got to be other places out there that have the same problem we do.
I mean, if I
Not
bought,
really. I mean, what other
if I had the
counties
opportunity to buy
get as
50 acres,
urbanized as we are?
Yeah.
I live on about 50, where surrounding me about 57 acres, that's on my, so I'm looking at that, okay, if I had this opportunity to go buy that 50 acres or 70, 60, whatever,
All this is done.
shoot,
In
for me, I would buy that, and that's all I'd ever want there.
You
But,
know?
I know that's that other guy out there that's
You know,
messed it
they'll be
up.
so- just like they do on
But there
Highway
again, I
Patrol.
wouldn't wanna have to, for me to have to build a $300,000 road to get to that 50 acres.
Yeah.
Or the man I was gonna buy it from said, well, you can fix that to build a $500,000 road so I can get there.
So most of the time we solve the problem
Under 3 acres.
by making sure that each of the lots that are subdivided out of these larger parcels have access, direct access to a county road. If we can get that, then we've at least solved part of the problem.
See, that's where it's gonna be a problem, it's like this, you got a county road that's out here and you access it, but in order to get to it, I mean, then you gotta go back here through other,
It's like
properties
everything else we
get
deal
there.
with, it's a one-size-fits-all kind of approach, and what we find is that it doesn't fit every single situation neatly, and there are gonna always be exceptions, and it's difficult when you start deviating from a standard to actually hold the standard. Once you start deviating,
I know.
word gets out.
I know.
And,
Yep.
The next thing you know, well, you know, I'm just a little bit off
Yeah.
of what you did for this
Yep.
guy, so
Yep.
let me go too, and you realize very quickly that you don't even have a standard anymore. One idea or approach that we had that was kind of getting a little bit of traction, Steve, you sort of alluded to it a little bit. If we can restrict the total number of lots that are being served to a number that makes sense, and we can increase that lot size to a point where we can be fairly confident that there are not going to be more than this number of house sites on any given parcel
Yep.
or approach, then we could relax the county road standard.
Well, when we know that there's not gonna be 30 cars coming in there and out of there every day, you know, I mean, that, but, well, I think to take little bites of it at a time, and that is look at our zoning and see how we can take something like what we had down in Bob's district and make that work as a farm, as an agriculture, because I think they were saying the smallest was, what, I don't know, 20-acre lot. Wow. I mean, you really could have 20 acres and 4 chicken houses. But make that where it's still, we don't have to lose the agriculture zoning because it's subdivided more than twice.
We were
But,
calling them rural subdivisions.
and then
Maybe not more than
10
5
or
lots.
5 or what, a number, yeah.
And no individual lot can be less than 15
15.
acres.
Well, that's what I was thinking, maybe if you keep the lot size large enough, but yet not too large. I don't know, and I'd like, I'm glad Mr. Parker, y'all are here. Y'all think about it because it is a little dictatorial for a man to own 150, 200 acres, and he splits it twice. All of a sudden, I got to build a $500,000 road in here because I just split my land 2 times, and I'm subdividing it. But I understand completely, and I always explain why it came to this because people try to go around the corner and then mess it up for everybody.
It rarely stops at just 2 or 3.
I know.
It always goes farther. So they
Well-
just said, I can pay for my house if I can sell off 2 more lots.
Hey, Jan.
I'll just pay for my
Right.
house out of those 2.
And what I'm seeing is a lot of these old family property that was 400, 500 acres or 300, 200. Unfortunately, when they pass, the siblings are going, hey, we're fixing to split this up. We're gonna make plenty of money. We're not coming back home.
I'll make sure that you guys understand that it's even harder than that on occasion. We see examples where larger parcels are owned and they're titled in the name of somebody who passes away. They don't have a will.
Yeah.
But they have multiple children. And then you end up in a situation where the court will forcibly potentially divide that property.
Really?
Now, when you try to explain to them that there's been subdividing activity and they come back and say, no, the court did that. We've got examples of that very thing that happened today. A piece of property that was 30 acres has now been divided among 15 heirs.
Wow.
We've got 15 2-acre lots.
That's
that
cloudy.
The court did. So they're looking at you saying, that wasn't our idea anyway.
Yeah.
We didn't want to do it that way.
Exactly. They made us do that. So how do you deal with that?
That is, yeah.
It's very difficult to get all of the issues that we're addressing there. What we got to do is to pick off some of these more difficult problems that we face. The fellow that's got 150 acres and he's a quarter mile off of the county road, and his one way in and out is via some easement.
Yep.
How do we accommodate that situation? So we need some sort of plan and approach. I think an idea, CMPDD has looked at this with us, so it's not like we just came up with this out of thin air. We went to the folks that have to deal with this on a multi-county type of approach. They see this very thing in other counties. They have suggested that we look at a rural subdivision type of approach. And that will allow us then to accommodate some dividing of the property, families, small, large lot type of developments that are far enough away from the municipality, so you don't get into issues of a municipal boundary coming out and picking up a pig and a poke situation. Get them far enough away from the municipality and say, all right, in this particular situation, as long as you meet these standards for a rural subdivision, no more than 5 lots, each lot at least 15 acres, then we'll allow you to construct these entry roads to this standard. The engineer gets uptight when we start talking about relaxing the standard, because now they got to figure out what 2 standards are.
Yep.
And the road manager has got to be concerned about that, because he's out there trying to make sure y'all got passable roads. You got all your firemen, we want to make sure they get their apparatus to the structure.
The problem with it, approving it as a private road and it staying a private road, I mean, it's a good theory. But man, I have not found one yet that everybody pitches in and takes care of their private road. It's gonna be one guy left out there with one old tractor and he's going, man, I just can't do it anymore. You know, I'm 78 years old. And nobody else is doing anything. And, you know, the road's deteriorating. And, I mean, it just seems like every one of them. And I'm sure there's one out there that works just like it's supposed to. But I hadn't found it yet.
It's called Brandywine.
What is the
That's
community
called,
development's
what's
part
one
of
down
this,
the
Mr.
shallows?
Jones?
That one works out okay. Yeah.
I think the maintenance on a gravel road is so minor compared to us building a blacktop road with even curb and gutter and stuff like that. I hate it because I hate having gravel roads. Because, I mean, I don't hate having them. I live on one. But I hate the fact that people will buy, build, live there, and say it doesn't bother them a bit. It's the country life, and 5 years later, demanding that we blacktop that road.
Yeah, but Steve, you do this, man. You come up with and give the go ahead for a developer to be able to put in a gravel road. We won't have another blacktop road there is. Every development, country living.
15 acres.
All right, Dave, but seriously, what do you do in a situation like we're talking about?
15 acres minimum.
You got to get a
no more than 5
drive half a mile or plus to get back to your property.
Yeah, I get it, man. I do, but you know, I think in that case, we just tell them it's a private road and let them deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, look, we have a guy in your area.
Yeah, how many do you have those in your district?
It's hard. You can't tell somebody 150 acres they can't subdivide their property.
I know.
So
I couldn't sell it in three things. I can't do it.
If it's, I mean, let
You
me ask
can't-
you
you
this.
can't do it.
If it's gonna be a gravel road,
350 acre
if we're gonna
business.
approve it's a private road, and we're approving it as a gravel road, and it's gonna be a gravel road.
And until you bring it up to that standard.
I'm not
we take
saying
it.
It's gonna be a gravel
that's why
road one way or the
That's
other.
why I just said I never understood why we had to get involved with the size of the gravel road if it's private drive.
It's all his fault.
Because he can't get a fire
I'm
truck
sorry, there
down
you are.
if you don't
But
make
you know,
one.
I don't see how it's our-
heck, my
our
neighbor,
responsibility,
what's
you know?
that, what's
If
his
they want a
driveway?
private
It's
drive,
more than a quarter of a mile
They
long.
won't have a,
No,
Mr. Benny.
That sound, I mean, you're
Mr.
right.
Benny's driveway, it's more than a quarter of a mile.
The people that live there, I mean, that originally built the house and said, we want a private drive and it just can be a little pig trail, we love it this way, we don't even want to cut those people end up either dying or leaving it to a kid or selling it, and 2 or 3 owners later, they have a heart attack in there and they can't get a ambulance or a fire truck, and they were not the ones, they say, I never liked it being this little.
So where does it come our responsibility though
tell
to
him,
go put the road in?
Bam! Craig can tell you.
Yeah, if it begins life as private drive and it's clear in the regulations that that's what it will be, then it's simply you guys sticking to your guns.
That's right. Either
It'd
you
be
can
another
convince-
board's
either
problem.
you convince a board to take it over, or either they spend the money to bring it up to a private road.
And I will
Public
tell you,
road.
I got one that we never thought would, and they're bringing it up right now.
But you said
Sure
if we
do.
approve it now, it's got to be to where a fire truck and ambulance can get
So
through
even
that.
a private drive
Listen,
can have
He ain't
regulations
listening.
associated with it. right?
He's
And
not paying
certain
any
local laws. It's gonna be a 60-foot right of way. We're gonna require a 60-foot right of way.
Well, now, 60 foot, now, isn't that getting a little extreme
private
for a
driveway.
driveway?
No, because you never know when they may decide to bring it up, and you wanna go ahead and
Hey,
get
I'm
that
used to
before.
not being on the
They
right
won't mind
end of
giving it up on the
things, so-
front end.
Yeah, but to build a 60-foot driveway.
No, you would have
just
to,
the
just give
right
right
of
of
way.
You would have a
Okay,
22
okay,
foot
you're just
bed.
talking right away.
Yeah, right of way.
Okay,
Hey,
that's different.
you know,
I thought
before,
you-
hey, our guys can't come here. They're gonna come as scheduled. So, before we get too deep in this argument, we have a gentleman, Mr. Mike, what's your last name? Walker. With AT&T's here. I know Mike had said that he was gonna come speak to us Friday. I guess, right?
All right, well, I want you to at least keep this in thought. It's not gonna die, but that's what I wanted
Well, I
out.
didn't think.
Well, I think it's a great idea. I'd love to have the discussion, I really would. There's a lot of issues out there that need to be
Sound
resolved.
like
There's a
y'all
lot,
feel the
though.
same on
It's
it.
got a lot on the side.
I don't have an answer because there's no good answer.
I'm not convinced.
We don't have,
I'm absolutely not convinced, but I do understand, it is frustrating to be on this side of the table, having to explain constantly. to
Well, what about if
constituents
you
why they-
have larger tracts of land, you subdivide it, that we don't require them to be a developer?
I'm sorry, say.
Change our subdivision ordinance to where we put in larger, put some type of, restriction in there that it's gotta meet this acreage in order, if you subdivide it, you have to be considered a developer.
That's precisely where we're headed with that. I don't know if we're saying it exactly the same way, but what we're saying is, if it meets these, if your development meets the following minimum criteria, we're not gonna treat that as a standard subdivision.
No, I'm saying, he's saying the guy has 300 acres, and he subdivides it, he's considered a developer. What I'm saying is, you got 300 acres and you subdivide it, you're not considered a developer. There's 150 pieces of property out there.
Yeah, but what about Kelly Foster, who's gonna buy 300 acres, and his first shot out of the box is 2 acre lots?
Well, then he's gonna have to develop, he's gonna have to submit a plan.
So we need to track on the front end how big the subdivided lots are.
I was simply saying that maybe we could, apply some type of restriction on the size of the lot if it's subdivided.
Yeah, and I think that's what we said. 15 acres sounds about.
10 sounds better, but I can live with
No,
15.
I don't want 10. I think we'll be eat up, cause.
Oh,
you-
God, no, I was thinking more like 100.
I'm thinking much bigger. Really, I am. I'm
Not that
thinking,
many big tracks out there that face.
I'm
that
thinking
problem.
bigger because, you can do, a lot of them wanna take this land and leaps and bounds, do 14 acres. Ooh, excuse me, 7, 10 acres.
Well, those are subdivisions, though.
I know,
You're
but
talking
that-
about somebody developing their property.
Yeah,
What
but-
you asked was a guy wanting to sell some property and have to put it in a mile-long road.
I know that, but I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, but
So
if you,
what we're
if
doing
you
right now
sit it down to 10 acres.
actually works to get us a seat at the table to ask questions and to get on top of things before they get out of the box. Anything we try to do to establish some sort of workaround on the front end could put us in a situation where there's development activity that's undergoing that we don't know anything about until it's too late.
Lord
So-
knows we have a bad enough problem with that already.
Yeah, already, that's the
So
problem.
what we're doing now actually gets us to the table. It's working to get us to the table. It's very frustrating for people to know, to learn, I can't do what?
After
can't
you
do
bought
what
the
I wanna
land.
do with
Yeah.
my property?
I own 200 acres, you telling me I can't sell 250 acre pieces back here?
And all it does is it slows it down to the point where we say, okay, we see what you're doing. Now, let us help you understand why we need a seat at the table to visit with you about this beforehand. That seems to work with the vast majority.
Because
of
in 20 years, you're gonna have houses all out here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. And generally, what I say, Jay, is you're gonna have houses that have kids in them that have absolutely no vote
Right.
about where they are, but who are gonna have emergency services at some point.
Okay.
They didn't get a vote on the front end. So, yeah, we do need to have a seat at the table. Yes, it's frustrating for folks to know that there's some sort of restriction on their freedom to do what they want to do with their property. We're all wired up to think that way anyway, and that's sort of a default setting we have. But there are some very real public governmental considerations that have to come into play. And emergency response at the top of the list.
Well, the big issue is, I don't think there's a county like us. I think we're unique in the sense that we're becoming more urbanized than anybody.
I think you're right in Mississippi.
Yeah.
But I think you can go to North Carolina or Virginia or places
Yeah.
that are very similar to us. We may
Okay.
be a few years behind where they were.
Yeah.
With y'all's permission, I
And
would ask
CMPD can,
again
Yep.
for our folks at
CMPD,
CMPD
yep.
to give us, and by the way, we've already had this discussion. Steve, you may remember,
Mhm.
Greg's brought in example restrictions that are in place in the Atlanta
area.
metro
Yep.
area.
Yep.
There are counties around the Atlanta metroplex that are facing these very issues. She brought in what I thought were some pretty good ideas. I think we just need to revisit. It never got any real traction with you guys. That's not a shot at y'all. It's just that we had other things that came up that were more important. So we never really followed through on that.
We're probably
Wayne,
too
how'd
busy
they-
shooting down their square foot minimums.
How did they work that deal down there where Kim built? That long road going back in there that actually in the city?
Just one private driveway.
We hang out a little longer, you know.
They put two drives, there's one right of way with two separate driveways in it to get around, just what he's talking about.
We see that. They get us because the mailboxes are out on the public road. So when it gets to address and Jared, it says thus and so White Road. And you unless you're specifically looking at what's going on at this property, you don't realize that's a flag lot. What I mean by that is a long strip off the public road up to a parcel, and it flags out, and you pick up the house site, but it's addressed off the public road. That doesn't trigger any sort of awareness, hey, they're going 1,320 feet off of this public road.
Well, that's where our 150-foot frontage should
That's-
kick in.
In RE1, RE1A, those, we require a minimum of 100-foot frontage on public road. That's why.
And,
There was,
I like
John,
that.
before he left here, he come up with a solution, and it was to work with the assessor's office in some way. He said there was a way we could do it to stop this, to catch them prior to, someone going out there and selling a piece of property and then us finding out after the fact.
Well, I'll tell you, Dana now, on the front end, she says, show me that lot. Bring me the survey for that lot when they come to get their address.
Yeah, but it's already done, though.
Say all that again now.
She will oftentimes, she'll ask them to reflect a survey or a.
Maybe, maybe sometimes, but I'm dealing with one right now where they split off 3 acres, 4 acres, 5 acres behind mom and pop's house, has no driveway, no frontage, no nothing. It's even deed restricted. Says cannot have a mobile home. They've got a double wide mobile home. They're hooking electricity to it today. They got a 911 address.
No.
They got a permit to move the trailer in there. There's no driveway. There ain't even enough room hall to get the trailer in there. And it's behind mom and pop's. And right across the fence is a really nice, because the rest of them are all deed restricted and got nice homes,
Your subdivision?
swimming pool, outdoor kitchen,
there.
and they look right over the fence, and there's a double wide. And we approved it all. I say approved it. We approved it by not stopping it.
Yeah.
But we can't go and police all the deed restrictions out there.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's the problem.
No, I know, but when it,
That particular
How'd
track,
they get approved?
that particular track had
We
deed
approved it.
restrictions on
yeah.
it.
No, the Board of Supervisors did not approve it. They just give a 911 number.
But in
We-
order for
over here-
them to put in a trailer, generally, the building department always calls the supervisor, even if it is an area that can be a mobile home put in.
Right.
They generally call the supervisor and ask them.
You didn't get a call about it?
Not on this one. No.
Is it
it's-
agriculture?
It's gotta be ag.
Must be
It's
ag.
just out of 43.
No.
It would just be sort of.
Leesburg.
Well, wait, it may have never been rezoned because the original sale was in like 2003 or 4.
I bet it's ag.
But it's
It was. And it was
like
never
5
It was
homes.
never. It was never properly rezoned
Yeah.
on the front end to reflect
Yeah.
what they were going to
Yeah.
It's
do.
gotta be
Yeah.
ag. It's
Yeah,
the only way
I
you can
think
get in
I
there
think
like
so.
this, Steve.
I think so.
Yeah.
But we're not looking at every deed that when they come in there and say, I want a 911 address.
But
This
even
is-
though, truthfully, at the point of the 911 address, it's too late.
Yeah, they've already
Those
bought
people have
property.
already bought the lot.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
Or the
this
trailer, more
one-
likely.
Thank goodness this one is deed restricted, and the closing attorney has some exposure here. I think.
Title
No, he didn't
insurance
catch it.
problems.
No, he closed it.
Wait,
And they
it's
bought a
deed
trailer?
It has deed restrictions?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no mobile
And
home.
the attorney missed it in the title search. The guy had owner's insurance, I believe.
Yep.
So now the attorney and the title insurance company on the hook because he put a mobile home in a place that was not, was deed restricted. He thought he had no restrictions at all. He could do whatever he wanted to with it. He never would have bought the property had he known he had the deed restrictions there.
What's the answer gonna be?
They're gonna move it.
Well,
Title company's gonna move it.
we thought they were. They're hooking electricity to it today. And they put in a septic tank 2 weeks ago. So
No.
it's not,
So what's the attorneys? Where they're?
If they're title, if you push it hard enough, title company should make him whole.
I think the title company is, I don't think that's where the problem is. And I don't think it probably is the closing attorney either.
Regardless of what they got, they are clearly in violation of those deed restrictions. So whomever wants to force that issue, the other properties that also have the restrictions, they can enforce that.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody better let them know.
Problem is that we don't have the manpower to research everything that goes on.
No.
If you wanna go out there and beef up the department by 2 or 3 more folks and go out there and research that, you can do that, but we can't. We can't afford to do that.
I know. I wish there was something though that when we do become aware that there would be some mechanism that we can say, halt, stop, we gotta have a hearing. Something has got, there's obviously a glitch here. I mean,
What did we decide, Mr. Walker, back there at the AT&T? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I mean, Jay?
Oh, yeah. Mr. Walker, Mike Harrison told me he's coming Friday.
yeah, Mr. Walker with AT&T. Yeah, if you don't mind. He got a few things he wants to discuss about a utility permit.
That would be no, no, and no?
Well, I was contemplating buying some land, but I'm gonna let it get resolved first.
At least you know, don't buy it till you check on a few things.
I will do that. My name is Mike Walker, and I'm a director with AT&T here. My office is in Jackson, but I handle the metro area. And I didn't really come prepared to speak to the board. I need to do a little bit more research.
Oh.
But that's fine. I'm here, and I can kind of wing it with the best of them.
All right.
But that's fine. I think Jeff Walters, who I think you've been working with, he and I talked. I was on vacation, and I'm giving you more information than you need to know. Last week, moving my daughter to Dallas, and I still suffering a little jet lag and everything associated with moving furniture up 3 flights of stairs.
Wow.
So yeah. But there's one item on the, I guess the permit ordinance that was passed that we have a concern about, and I think it's on, if I'm not mistaken, the one that the item number 4, that the applicant waives any and all right to compensation from Rankin County Board for removal or relocating of future damage caused, and as a result of this application. And I guess the question we have about that is that we don't normally charge if it's in right-of-way. If there's a locate and it's damaged, we do that at our own expense. If it's in right-of-way and the road moves, for whatever reason, we relocate at our own expense. So I was trying to understand, I was just trying to understand the intent of the language and what are we trying to say. Because we do relocate. If we in the public right of way and there's a road move, we relocate at our own expense. If we're in the public right of way and it's cut, and then the 811 ordinance is followed, and there's a call made and it's located, and we will relocate at our own expense. We're just trying to understand, because we don't want to sign away any of the rights that we have from the state. We get our state franchise to be in the right of way from the state. And we don't want to sign away any of those rights, although we do understand that Rankin County has police authority over the right of way. So I'm just trying to understand exactly what the intent was.
So the intent really is of that particular provision is the utilities have to be buried at a
Certain depth.
appropriate depth, and
Okay.
so there's really we're putting together the responsibility of the utility provider to get the utilities in the right place at the right depth.
Okay.
With, if they're not at the right depth or in the right place and we cut them, then we're not gonna pay for that.
Okay, well, I understand that.
That's really how that works.
Okay.
It's not so much, that we're asking you guys to waive any rights you might have outside of the right of way. Clearly, you've still got whatever rights that you would otherwise have. If a third party cuts the utility lines, then you've not waived any rights with respect to that third party activity.
Okay.
So if Atlas is in there and they cut y'all's lines, have at it.
No,
It's simply a waiver of any potential claim that would be there against the county.
Against the county, I got that.
Where we damage an AT&T line that hasn't been buried to the proper depth, and we see that consistently. Unfortunately, Mr. Walker, what we're finding is, and we're in a good spot here, because AT&T, y'all might be surprised or not surprised to find out, they don't bury any of their line. It's all done by a private, subcontracted third party. So Davini is out there burying AT&T lines. And so it's, the impetus would be on AT&T to make sure that Davini is getting those utilities at the right depth. And if they're at the right depth, then our guys won't be cutting them.
Okay. And we specify the depth on the drawings that it should be at, and on occasion.
And that's what that language is for. Is
Okay. On those occasions. Okay. Okay.
We've got a bucket out there, and we're 2.5 feet, and we got into an AT&T line.
And we're not at the proper depth.
5 feet.
Right.
So.
Okay.
We got to figure out a way to protect our guys and the county from utility subcontractors, primarily, private third parties, who are out there with either without any awareness that they've got to be at 5 feet and they got to be in the bag of the right of way, or they haven't been properly policed.
Okay.
Craig,
Well,
that's
we know
100%, isn't it? That all of them sub out the C spires.
For the most part.
This issue is going to continue to be an issue, and you see the interplay here. AT&T's here, Davini's not here.
Yeah.
Davini, they're just burying line.
Right.
But don't a lot of them bury them, I rebuilt some of those plows, and I'm just thinking about it, that it's just a single blade goes in, the wires on the spool and comes down, and they just ripping that ground and burying that wire as they go. But it's usually not about 3 feet.
Yeah, that's typically the way it's done, and then also, and I'm assuming this covers cable and not buried service wire, the wire that goes from the pedestal to the home, because we generally bury that about 6 inches or so, because that's actually on the private property.
Most of that is outside the right of way.
It's outside the right of way, so that's what we typically do.
So
But yes,
what I'm talking about, the outside, okay. All right.
yeah, that's the service wire that buries
Yeah, 'cause I
that.
rebuilt a bunch of those
Right.
plows.
They-
All of this is in our right of way.
Yeah.
Everything
Okay,
is
yeah.
our right of way.
Right.
And to Mr. Walker's point, they do have authority from the state. I would assert that where the state stops at a state aid road and becomes a county road, I'm not so sure where the limit of that state authorization
Right.
is versus the county authorization. And so we may need to be talking about some sort of franchise agreement or understanding between the county and AT&T at some point. But that's a legal
Well,
argument.
yeah,
It doesn't really
it-
matter in here.
Right, and I did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express, so I'm not gonna try to be a lawyer this morning. So, okay, but I can bring you some documentation, because we've had a challenge before, and the state Supreme Court has upheld our rights to be in the right of way of land across the state, public land. But it also maintains that we have to follow the local governing institutions
We
on
can't block
yeah,
them from getting
yeah,
in our right of way, but we can tell them where to go.
where to go, how deep to go, all that good
and all
stuff.
that kind of stuff, which is what we're trying to do.
And that's what we want to make sure.
That particular provision simply protects the county. The intent of that provision is to protect the county in the event
Right.
that we get in an AT&T line in our right of way that's not at the proper
Right.
depth.
Well, we can live with that. The only thing is, I'm just trying to, because we do work with our contractors, and we have a contract supervisor that goes with them on a job, supposedly. That makes, just supposedly. I have to always qualify every statement I make.
Well, and I hate to interrupt,
But
but
that's fine.
where all this coming into play at was, and we talked about it before you got here.
Right.
We got some area subdivisions that AT&T's workers are there. They're sitting there with no trucks decaled, I mean, it's just a plain truck, or they may drop men off in the subdivision, and we don't know.
And most
who
of
owns
them
it.
We should coordinate that better, in terms of letting you know. I mean, during the permitting process, when it's approved.
Right.
Before any work is done, they should contact and say, we're gonna be on such and such road, and we should have, somebody, that should be a marked.
But just like where you got here, I stood up here in front of these guys and approved the permit, not for y'all, somebody else.
Right.
And then they don't do it like it's done, like we did the drawings, then it's gonna be back on me.
Absolutely.
Then I let somebody do something that wasn't approved.
Well, I will leave.
We've had that happen.
Right. I'll leave my card with you, and if there's ever any issue, call me, and I'll do whatever it takes to get it right.
So, Mike, if I have some, say, a crew out in the subdivision that left a hole and went on and didn't come back, and they need to fix the yard back, I can call you?
You can call me.
Cool, all right.
You can call me. I mean, we want to do it right, and issues like, things like this happen, but that's not how we,
Well, the thing is, it's not you, again, it's a contract.
It's not you.
oh, absolutely. But we want to make sure the contract is our agent, they representing us.
Right.
You had
So
a
whatever they
person-
do.
If you had a
If I may-
person.
You still 866-430-6202?
Pardon? I'm getting this is the latest and greatest information for me.
Thanks,
If
bro.
you had a person
Thank you.
that said their cable, you said
you,
it's
sir.
generally buried 2 inches or something. If you had a person whose cable was maybe just thrown on top of the ground for maybe a quarter of a mile, would that be something y'all would address? Or
Oh,
is
if it's for that long, oh, yes. If
it
it's,
probably should be under the ground.
it should be deeper than that. If it's on a road, a county road, and it's, even if it's a buried service, why we should have it deeper than that.
Deeper than what?
It should be deep in 2 or 3 inches. It should be
No,
at
no, I
least.
said if it was just on top of the ground.
Oh, so top of the ground, that's probably a temporary setup. But sometimes in the rural areas, when we get away, sometimes temporary becomes permanent for a while until somebody brings it back up. But no, that shouldn't be there no more than about a couple, 3 days. If it's more than a couple days, give me a call. We get somebody out to bury
Okay,
it.
thank you.
No
'cause I hear
problem. No
that.
problem. Things happen, and it's never the intent, and that's why it's always good to talk with someone or have someone you can call and address those issues. So just give me a call.
Thank you.
Appreciate it,
All
Mr.
right,
Walker.
thank
No
you.
problem. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Mr. Walker,
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Before you leave, there's one other issue I want to make sure that Mr. Walker's aware of. In our new permit, we would require some sort of form of identification of who's doing the work at the site.
At the site,
Some sort
okay.
of placard. And if it's an AT&T project, then we require that it state that at the site.
At the site, okay.
AT&T.
Okay.
And that gives everybody in the area notice, okay, these are AT&T folks. We had, recently, one of the subcontractor workers actually hit somebody
Oh, no.
with their service vehicle and caused damage. And nobody can find them, and nobody knows who they are, and nobody knows who they're with,
Okay.
and nobody knows who the overarching entity is that put them out there to start with.
Right.
And so we believe that that's a permit that was issued prior to our new permit. So this is for everything that's new going forward. We need placards out there
Okay.
to notify who's doing.
Plaque, some kind of signage so people will know that it's AT&T working, and that be glad we
Or
take
the
that.
venue working for 8.
Or the
yeah,
vendor
yeah.
working as on our behalf.
Well, also it lets them know, this day and time, you got problems in areas, and it lets them know these people are actually here working and not just a car here casing the place.
Absolutely. And we're going to have a lot more work because we have a lot of projects going on. We're doing a lot of overbuild with fiber in areas, trying to provide the 1 gig service, the fiber-based service that a lot of customers want, particularly the high-end subdivisions and a lot of places. So we're doing a lot of work throughout the county now. So we'll make sure that we do that going forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Mr.
it.
Walker,
Thank-
appreciate your
Right,
time.
thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to discuss the need for going to executive session.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bishop, second by Mr. Morrison. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. I'll entertain a motion to go to executive session for the need to discuss personnel.
So moved.
So maybe Mr. Morrison, second Mr. Cross. All in favor say aye. All opposed, like sign. Dwayne, would you get out of here?
See, man, what was so crazy, like right now, that in Barnett Bend, there was, C-Spire, AT&T,
Great.
and Atmos. They were all in there.
No, sir.
On,